ANDERZÉN.
What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel ANDERZÉN. Today I'm going to show you how we went from this, a terrible mistake by Mercedes in the biodegradable wiring harness on the throttle body, to this, a nice marine grade wiring upgrade with nice sheathing that we can throw back into the car with peace of mind. Hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so before we get started, wanted to make a quick overview of supplies we'll be using. Helper hands, if you guys don't know what these are, just basically, you know, rubber insulated prongs that will allow me to have some extra hands, some helping hands to hold wires while I'm holding the soldering iron onto it, etc. Just makes it a lot easier when you're doing stuff like this. All of these pins are essentially, you know, soldered in pins. They're not crimp-on pins, so I'm gonna need to hold them steady while I get them hot enough to pull the old wire out and put the new wire in. I was debating, you know, just attaching a piece of wire to the end of it, but some of these are just really corroded, and if I'm already this far into it, I'm just gonna do it the full proper way, even if the other way would work. Alright you guys, digging into the wiring here shortly. I'm making a little video clip for you guys and for a mental note of which side is which when it comes to the connector. I mean, easy way to tell is, luckily this side is numbered and the gray side is also numbered. So I just got this kind of unhooked, so it should be able to slip out of here. And there we go. There's all of our pins. The way I did that was just kind of holding these two prongs open and sliding it out. You can also wedge, like, I don't know, like toothpicks or Q-tips or something, but I just use my fingers. And then now we have this exposed. Other things we got over here, got some nice wire crimpers, wire strippers, bunch of heat shrink, the throttle body obviously, have a ton of wiring, and then the new little gadget that I have actually from work is a soldering iron, but it's wireless, and it also has a nice thin point on it, so should be a little easier for a project like this that's going to be kind of intricate and detailed. So hopefully this thing will stand up to the test. Otherwise I have my Hako that is pretty much industrial standard. So yeah, wiring, I have 26 gauge and 20 gauge, which seems to be pretty close to what they used here, so should do the job, and plenty of colors of that, so we'll have lots to choose from. But my plan of action essentially is, like we talked about last video, one at a time. And I decided I am going to retain the factory plug here. I'm not going to bother doing a whole new setup and then having to also wire, you know, the car side of things that plug into the ECU box. So I'm just going to do this. I'll figure out a way to make it, you know, stay solid and not be a problem without that outer shell on the plug. And we'll just make it work. So I'm not going to bother talking through all the things I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to kind of try to set you guys up in a good view and time lapse it, put some music over it, let you guys enjoy, and if I need to, I will voice over any parts that I feel like you guys need to know about. So here we go. So real quick, got the first one out, so I think that's going to be my method, is just you know, slowly. It's a slow process and no way around it. Trying to figure out which wire looks like it's getting pulled, and then figuring out which connection it is. In this case, it's the bottom right here. So that is the first plan of attack. This is number 3. And then while I'm in here, I might as well show you guys also my plan for the two bigger ones is they look pretty difficult to try to get in there and solder. So instead, I'm gonna try to basically heat shrink those ones till I at least get out here, and then I'll make a solder connection out here and attach a wire to those. So we'll get to that once we do, but for now, let's keep going. Guys, wire number 1, number 3 complete. It's right there, bottom right. Not too bad. Getting my soldering skills loaded back up, but should do the job just fine. So, 10 more to go. So now that you've seen kind of the process of what it looks like, soldering everything, it's going to be the same for the rest of these that are on the front of the board right here. GoPro dying. The only two that are going to be different are the ones that are going to the motors, so I'll definitely show you guys those when I'm doing them. One key thing, I made the wire length around 50 inches. I'm going to do all of them the same length, and it's a little bit longer than it was factory because I'm hoping that I can basically route it through the intake manifold like on the back side. Same thing I was doing with this hose, just to kind of clean things up a bit and get them out of the way. So I'll update you guys as I go, but most of the process is going to be pretty much the same as what you guys just saw. But hopefully sped up a little bit now that I've kind of figured it out. Alright guys, it is into the wee hours of the morning, but I kind of got on a roll and decided to run with it. We have all of the top ones done. The only ones I have to finish are the two connectors for the motor, or motors. So here's the map that we have, by the way. I will make a digital version of this and send it and post it onto 500 eBoard later on, but for now, that's what we got. I'm exhausted, but so happy I got the top part done at least. It's pretty clean. It's not, you know, robot quality, but it'll do. Next up, tomorrow, we'll be finishing the two bigger wires. What is going on, you guys? Back, it's the next morning. Got a little bit carried away last night. I worked way too late, but glad I got majority of it done. Let me show you guys kind of where we're at. Last clip you guys saw was when I was dog tired and cell phone clip. So yeah, I'll take a look and tell you guys what my plan is for the last two wires. Alright, so here we have it. A bit of a mess, but we got a road map kind of built. So we got the top three, 12, 13, and 10. The middle two on the far left, far right are 6 and 14. And then the bottom row is 8, 2, 1, and 3. So hopefully that'll help people out. And then I'll figure out the last two and write them on there as well and show you guys. But we should have enough room to run, you know, two wires in there. We still got, it was getting close. I was having to use basically like a piece of the wire wrap it around the new stuff nice and tight, and then basically pull it through because it was getting pretty narrow. So next thing, I think that I am gonna have room actually to just solder a wire straight to this. I was a bit worried about, you know, trying to connect to copper or you know, the old copper wire here, and my idea of, you know, trying to introduce a heat shrink into there to cover up the old wire. I don't know if that'll work. We'll try, I guess, and if it does, then I would basically just shove the heat shrink down in here so it's at least, you know, getting down to where it's exposed, shrinking it up, and then connecting a new connection outside at this point, and then just running a new wire from there. These two wires are a bit thicker than the stuff that I was using. This is 20 gauge. I would guess this is like maybe 18, 16. The stuff that was here from factory was probably like 25 gauge. I have 26, but it seemed a little bit too small, so I just went with the 20. And I mean, it's definitely a tight fit in here, but it'll do the job, and will be a little beefier than the stock setup. I have everything numbered. Those last two that are waiting are 4 and number is the other big one, 4 and 11, I believe. Yeah, so those are the last two. But yeah, pins all look good. Everything's soldered up pretty nicely, and I'm happy with it right now. Plug is over here. I'll still be using this. Like I said, I think it's just more worthwhile to try to stick with this design than to try to introduce a whole new thing and have to wire up, you know, the car's side as well. So did a nice amount or length of wiring so that I have the option to kind of run it 2 different directions. I think that it'll fit through the throttle body, and that way it'll just kind of clean things up, and it'll still be protected. I got, you know, some good sheathing that I'll be putting on to protect all of this. So yeah, just want to update you guys real quick. We got to do some work today, housework. If you guys remember last weekend's video, or whenever, I don't know what part of the video that was, but we went to Home Depot, bought a bunch of materials for our backsplash in our kitchen, which has been waiting for a long time after we redid our kitchen cabinets and countertops. So we're gonna take care of that today, me and Mike. He's on his way over in a little bit, so I'll probably time lapse you guys for that. Why not? And then we'll get back to this, and you guys will be seeing this tomorrow morning on Monday, Martin Luther King Day. So I also have another video I was thinking about doing for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, because I just felt like it'd be fun to do and different than normal. He's definitely I don't know what you could want to call it, either a hero or just somebody I think is very interesting, and somebody I gravitated to even as a kid, just like hearing stories about him. And of course we all know like the things that he did for this country, for the world. But I don't know, I just found him fascinating. I still do, as a person, and a person like that coming across this earth isn't very frequent, and having as much impact as a person like that did isn't frequent. So yeah, but I figured I would do something a little bit different than the stuff you see typically in relationship, just to relate it to that person and also to this channel. So yeah, we'll see if we get to that, but anyways, I will catch you guys after the time lapse of the kitchen work, and we'll finish this thing up. Alright, special thanks to this guy for a time lapse. Here's our progress. I did some of it. The camera died halfway through, but we got this side to finish next time. One wall down. Almost. Pretty much.
For the night, yeah, we gon' party on Sunset. Living the Hollywood life, seeing them Hollywood sights. Sunset Boulevard, home from home, always a no-do zone. When we party on Sunset, feel the bass in the streets, the city's heartbeat is.
Alright guys, gonna be moving on here in a second, but wanted to show you, found the perfect gauge wire to match up with this stuff, and happens to be out of my C55 wiring. I kept all of it that I deleted because it was all still really good, and it's Mercedes factory wiring, can't really get better, besides the biodegradable stuff, but it's already twisted, so I'm just gonna use this for both of the bigger wires and just keep it as a twisted set. Once I get this all situated, then I think I'm going to try to also twist these ones up, and that'll just make it a little cleaner once it gets, you know, towards the end here, and then I can kind of either zip tie them or tape them as I go and just kind of keep it neat. And then I have the sheathing that I'll put on after it and some heat shrink in certain areas. So let's make our progress. Alright guys, quick update. Very close to finishing right now. I was able to basically pull one of the bigger wires out. I just snipped it over at the end over here, pulled it all the way through, put the heat shrink on, as you can see now, and put two of them in a row, basically overlapping each other, and then just connected some wire at the end. Use a little bit of WD-40 to snake it through. And now I will solder up a new wire connected here, heat shrink that as well, and then be good to go. It's a bigger gauge like we talked about earlier, so I'm going to use some of the leftover Mercedes wiring that I have to match it, and I'm just about to do the same thing on the other side. It's back there, you can see the black wire behind the ribbon cable over there. I'm going to do the same thing right now, so just snip it and then pull it through. This was wire 11, so the other one is 4. So I'll go ahead, finish this side up, get it put back onto the harness, and then I'll start on the other side. Alright guys, we have finally finished all the wires that needed to be connected on the internal side of the board back here. Just need to finish up the last connection to the brown and orange wire right here. The other one's already ran, connect to the connector, just waiting on number 4. Last one, so excited. After this, I'm gonna button it back up. The Torx that went into this were fine, but the Torx that are used for the outside cover are those safety style Torx like this. So I'm gonna go to the hardware store tomorrow and pick some different ones up because I just don't want to deal with that again. The cover already has a seal on it and all that stuff. So to wrap up this video, I'm going to show you guys kind of what it's going to look like as far as connector goes. And then the next video you guys see of this thing will probably be obviously throwing it back in the car and testing things out. So let's get going. Let's finish this thing up. I don't know how long the video is right now, but let's try to get this wrapped up. All right, guys, we're on to the last steps right here. I'm almost out of the mess. Got all the wires out of the connector. Basically just gonna do a, you know, simple braid, nothing crazy. Just spiral them up. And as I go, I'll kind of tape a few sections off to keep it in place. And then I'm gonna heat shrink the entire thing over here, get a nice secure kind of starting point for it. All right, guys, I'm on the last little bit of the harness right now. Just looped up the extra wire to kind of even them out before the end. I'm gonna leave all the tags on them because why not? Basically used heat shrink, like 3 of them here and there, just to keep both bundles together, and then some electric tape here and there just to even things out. And then got this nice loom that's around everything to keep it nice and covered. One last thing I'm gonna do, because I found out this heat shrink dries very close to like hard plastic, I'm gonna use this. It fits like perfectly over the outer diameter of this. So I'm gonna place it over and basically heat shrink it down, and that'll give us a nice kind of grabbing point for this plug since we don't have the outer shell anymore. All right, guys, we have finally made it to the end of this road. It was pretty painstaking at times, but jobs like this is just like a patience game. It's nothing more than that, really. Just make sure you got the right supplies to do the job properly, and you'll be in good shape as long as you stay patient. Give yourself time, don't rush, and just do things the right way. Really happy with how it turned out. Really happy with the protection I was able to do, and like sheathing. I didn't show you guys exactly what's under here, but let me show you guys what's underneath. So at the top part, it's basically the heat shrink. I put 2 layers actually and kind of bent it into shape. And then from there, it's all the wiring just kind of braided, tape here and there. And then I have sections of that same heat shrink in 3 different areas. I think one right here, one here, one here, and then at the end, we put the heat shrink over the end of the connector. It kind of slipped off, but it's still nice and solid. I wish I would have kept, I ran out of this bigger sheathing. Otherwise I would have put double on here, but it's all right. It'll give us something nice to grab onto since, you know, rest in peace to the little plug that was on there before. Kind of shattered up. So that is where we're at. Like I said, I'm gonna go get new hardware for the cover tomorrow, and we'll throw that back in, and then it'll be ready for testing, and you guys will see that video very soon. Just to put it out there for you guys verbally, I've posted on the community board, but I'm gonna be doing videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. I've been trying to put all of them out at 8 a.m. Last Friday and Saturday was a little bit later, but that's just uploading, it happens. But yeah, plan on seeing videos every day from the channel. Hope you guys are excited to see this back in action. I know I am, and having the peace of mind knowing that it's not going to spontaneously combust now with the wiring in the condition it was before is nice. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.